Hey, everybody, we're going to kick off in just a sec. Sit tight. I've got Patrick up here co hosting with me. This is Tor from the Secret Foundation. He's going to make sure all of our speakers get up here on stage today, featuring Onenet and Bushi, as well as a appearance from Carter at Shade Protocol. Sit tight. We'll get everybody up here on stage. We'll kick off shortly.
About 5 minutes after the hour. What an exciting day in the cryptocurrency space we've had. Lots and lots and lots going on today. Today is the day where there's been some news out about FTX and Binance, and all of that is fun, but it's not relevant to what's happening here today in the secret ecosystem, where we are super excited to be featuring multiple dApps from our ecosystem. All this stuff keeps happening out in the crypto world, but builders build, and today we're featuring multiple builders who have some really awesome stuff to share with you. Things that you can go and do and explore right now, in fact, which is important. Not just things that might launch someday, but things you can start interacting with today. So that is super cool. So what I'm going to do is momentarily hand it over to the guest that we have here on stage. And in the meantime, I would encourage everybody to look at our pinned tweet. Our pinned tweet inside this space. Please take that link. Please share it around. Please pack the room for these awesome dApp teams. Make sure that we get lots of people in the room supporting them. And also, please make sure that you claim today's secret badge. We've had a ton of new interest in secret badges over the last week. Last week on Secret Spaces, we featured the Stash team and their Stash of the Day initiative, where a new secret badge is launching every day. Since then, I think there's been about 40,000 new wallets connected to Stash to try to claim these secret badges, so they've been in super hot demand. Today, we expect to see more of the same. So in just a moment, once we get the link around a little bit more and pack the room, we'll drop the claim code. But before we drop the claim code for today, we'll have our speakers introduce themselves, starting with Leon and then Carter. So go ahead and let people know who you are.
Hello, everybody. My name is Leon. I am currently working on Bushi and Onenet. Been around in the Secret Network for a while now, and I'm just excited to be here. Ready to talk about some gaming, ready to talk about development in both Secret Network and crypto in general, and just overall pretty excited.
I'm Carter Woetzel. I'm the lead researcher for Shade Protocol. We have some amazing, exciting stuff being launched here today, and I'm also excited to give some updates on the state of the Q4 products and audits. So thank you for everyone who's tuning in. We were slightly worried about marketing the airdrop today and staking, but I gave CZ a phone call. And he decided to acquire FTX so that Twitter can get back to being focused on building.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to go share this link in one more place. Actually, I'm going to make sure that all the people collecting secret badges over at Stash know that we have kicked off this space, because a lot of people are asking me about making sure that they were able to come and get the code for today's badge. And these are also a lot of big secret NFT users who are probably going to be super curious about what's going on with Onenet and with Bushi. So let me quickly let them know that the secret spaces has started and that they can come here to get the claim code. So we'll reveal that in just a second. Everybody who loves the claim codes, just be patient. But for everybody else, I think let's get right into the meat of things. Cool, let's front load it. Carter, the floor is yours, and once your announcement is done, we'll share the claim code and we'll get straight into the meat of things with Bushi. But go ahead and take it away.
I mean, the big announcement today is that airdrop is going live at 1 p.m. CST in 2 hours, along with 3 shade staking opportunities. There'll be a 90-day staking opportunity, a 30-day staking opportunity, and a 7-day staking opportunity. It's a different version of staking than traditional staking, because it actually uses the bond functionality of Shade Protocol. So be sure to check that out in 2 hours. Besides that, ShadeSwap is on testnet, and we've concluded the first round of user testing internally. And so be sure to be part of the community, because ShadeLend and ShadeSwap are both going to be, ShadeLend is going to be hopping on testnet in the next week or so. And very, very soon we'll be opening up an endpoint to gather community feedback on ShadeLend, ShadeSwap, and Silk. So those are the biggest announcements for the day.
Wow.
Also, Shade is officially successfully bridged to Osmosis today over IBC.
What?
So potentially an Osmosis pool as well. Keep your eyes peeled for any announcement around incentives and whatnot.
So you're telling me I can have some Shade. I can get it into an Osmosis pool. I can be LPing potentially with my Shade on Osmosis, earning rewards, and then using those rewards to earn more Shade?
Yeah, you got it.
Dear God. Well, that's super exciting. Super exciting to hear. And it sounds like a lot of things for users to do right now. So go ahead. I assume all of this has been pushed out through the Shade Protocol Twitter as well.
Yeah, so most of the tweets are coming out right around 1 o'clock. But right now, if you want to front run this stuff, be sure to hop onto app.shadeprotocol.io. That's where the airdrop will be going live on that webpage, as well as the staking bond. So just familiarize yourself with the app. Make sure you got a Kepler wallet with some Secret and some Shade. And yeah, look forward to a fun launch. This is our third or fourth product launch, and the team is much more relaxed. We've really worked through a lot of our launching protocols, so things are much smoother than usual, and we continue to improve every product launch.
Sweet. Well, thanks everybody in the community for giving them your feedback. Clearly, it's been helpful. Your feedback is always essential, actually, to all of the DApp teams in the network, as well as your attendance at these secret spaces. Thank you for coming and supporting them here. So that was Carter from Shade Protocol dropping some knowledge. Please follow him, follow Shade Protocol. He will be speaking at Secret Summit, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on in the space. Secret Summit being our digital conference on December 15th. We'll talk more about how you can RSVP for that and get involved early. But thank you, Carter. Appreciate all that. With that aside, it's time to reveal the secret badge details for today before we hand it fully over to the Bushi team. Today's secret badge, linked in the tweet that we've pinned to this space, is honoring the Bushi team, is honoring everything that's coming from their team, this whole gaming platform for the Cosmos. And specifically, of course, we're honored that they're leveraging Secret in their solutions. So today's claim code for their badge, are you ready, is Gaming Hub. Gaming Hub. All capital letters. Gaming Hub. If you're not claiming this badge, apparently our badges used to get a couple hundred claims. Now we're getting thousands. So if you want to be one of the very early minters and have your badge numbered 1 or 2 instead of 1,000 or 2,000, definitely encourage you to do it. Thanks again for supporting all the teams who come up here on the spaces. Thanks for collecting all the spaces badges. And I'm pretty sure shortly there'll be other rewards for those of you who have been collecting these badges actively. Remember, of course, that if you don't collect them actively, they do disappear. So with that said, moving straight into the content, thank you very much, Leon, for coming and joining us today. We're thrilled to have you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
So you're here today, but something else is happening today. What's going on? What is Bushi doing today?
Yeah, so today is finally when our NFT drops for alpha access to both Bushi, the Onenet platform, which should be launching in December, and then it has a bunch of other different utility like DAO access, a guaranteed skin in Bushi. But yeah, there's a bunch of utility packed in it, and it's dropping today at 10 a.m. PST, 6 p.m. UTC. So I think that's in like 47 minutes. So pretty exciting stuff. We've been working super hard on the platform as well as Bushi. So we're finally at least super excited to have the community get their hands on something that kind of like solidifies them as early supporters or part of the community. So just super exciting day overall.
I'm super excited. And is there something in the secret badge today that people should know about? Now that we've given away the claim code, maybe there's something interesting in there for people that could get them even more excited about the drop.
Yeah, there is actually. So there is a sneak peek of in-game UI, so the user interface or the HUD. For anybody who has been watching or been following us closely, you can kind of tell that we've been showing the gameplay without UI for a while now, and that's because it's been going through kind of like a major rehaul from the initial version that we had in pre-alpha. But now it's kind of like the first time you get to see what you'll actually be looking at in the game, the kind of skills that you have in there, um, the amount of players in a match. So yeah, if you guys haven't claimed your badge yet, make sure you claim it if you want to check out some early sneak peeks.
Amazing. So you heard it here first. Claim the badge, unlock the private metadata, get even more hyped, and then go and get in on the drop. If people want the link to the drop, by the way, should they be following you? Should they be following the account? How can they make sure they've got the link for where they need to go?
If we're talking about the mint drop today, launchonenet.io or www.launchonenet.io is probably the best place to go. You can probably navigate yourself through Twitter. I have a bunch of stuff on my Twitter, the Onenet Twitter, the Play Bushi Twitter, and then, of course, Discord, Play Bushi. You can probably find everything you need via those channels.
Sweet, there you go. All right. So with that said about the launch, let's go through everything else. I see a few things in our agenda here that we got to get through. So in any order that you want before we open the floor to questions, any order you want, hit us with the project updates, what the timelines are looking like now. A lot of people have been hearing a little bit about Bushi and when they're going to get to play, when they're going to get to mint, all this stuff. So just let's make sure everybody's on the same page. In your own words, how are things looking?
Yeah, so I guess some of the biggest updates that we have for both projects is that it's just being delayed by 1 month for both launches. So Onenet was supposed to launch this month, and then Bushi was supposed to launch in December. But now we've kind of decided that, with the holidays coming up, which is kind of crazy that we planned it this way to begin with, we kind of like totally just skimmed over Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all these other holidays that everybody celebrates. But because of that, I think we are going to go ahead and delay the launch of Bushi for January. It's hard for me to say exactly, but I'd probably guesstimate like end of January. That way it'll give us some time to get back from the holidays, finalize a couple of things, tweak a little bit of the gameplay itself, iron out everything that we need to be able to actually start allowing people to get into the game. And that is for Bushi. And then for Onenet, the first look of the Onenet platform. So the Onenet platform is going to be very bare bones on this quote unquote launch, right? So for next month in December, what you'll probably get to expect from the platform is just having support for Bushi specifically. You'll be able to do the regular things like create an account, be able to manage some of your NFTs on the desktop platform itself. You'll be able to launch the video game. You'll be able to update the video game automatically as soon as you check the game, I guess, or get to the library on the platform itself. And that's really about it. So just support for Bushi. We'll be continuing to develop support for other games, which I think we can talk about a little bit after I get done with this spiel. But I think that is really all there is for the platform updates and the Bushi updates. Overall, yeah.
Sweet. I mean, you tell me what we should be hyped up for, right? Like you got the entire floor. I know we had some other people who were going to try and give some ecosystem updates today who are going to be pushed to a later date. So we really cleared things out for you. So what's the most interesting thing for you to talk about while you're up here? I have my own questions, but I want to make sure we get through any of your partnership stuff or any alpha. I don't want to steal your thunder, obviously.
Yeah, no worries. So I guess some of the things that we're working on specifically, I don't want to necessarily just speak or announce certain partnerships just yet, because I guess I would want to wait for some timing on there. But Some things to expect from the platform as well that we're pretty excited about is that we're partnering with, I guess, a fiat on ramp kind of software or integration into the platform. So things like being able to actually utilize your credit card or your debit card to purchase certain skins. Now these skins, I guess it's a good time to actually overall just go over the Onenet platform.
Definitely. Let's
But
do that. Let's do that.
yeah, so um, where I was going with the fiat on ramp is that the OneNet platform is actually very catered to both Web 2 and Web 3 video gamers, um, or users in general and developers as well. So within the platform, you're actually able to purchase certain digital goods, I'd probably say, that aren't necessarily crypto assets. And that's just for the majority of the Web 2 users who really don't want anything to do with crypto just yet. And our overall, plan of attack, if you can say that, is to slowly integrate those from Web 2 into Web 3 by just showcasing, the power of NFTs specifically, where, you have ownership, you can level these NFTs up or upgrade them via the token that we'll be releasing. And I guess you could maybe kind of say that it is a little bit biased towards the Web3 assets like NFTs, um, to the point where some NFTs are probably going to be a lot better than those that are just digital goods that aren't tradable on the platform. But yeah, that's what we're working on specifically with doing a fiat on ramp. And then I guess overall, just a super high level overview of the OneNet platform in general for anyone who doesn't know is that it is a video game distribution marketplace, you can say. So it's very, very catered to users in Web3 as of right now, where it's kind of like a central hub. And I hate to use the word central, but it is a one-stop shop for you to be able to just manage your video games all over the cosmos. Our goal is to be somewhat network agnostic, so you can literally have any game that you ever or any game that you want on a different chain and just be able to launch it on our platform, which is the very, very minimum that we'd like to have happen with some of these games. So specifically, we've been talking to people like Passage or other video games in Ethereum that we may be wanting to list on the platform. And obviously, those cannot just go ahead and migrate over to Secret. So we're building infrastructure to be able to support them on the platform without them actually having to, transfer any assets, which is, what the current kind of standard is for supporting video games is having to transfer your assets to another network. But so that's the user side of things where, you can play your video games wherever they are. And then the other side of it is it's very, very developer heavy in support. So our largest goal with OneNet, the OneNet platform, is actually to build and kind of cultivate the next generation of video game developers, right? So we get a lot of comparisons to Steam, where Steam is kind of like a developer or video game developer haven, where there's a bunch of support, a lot of SDKs, a lot of APIs that people can just, pull from or plug into their code to kind of just streamline the development process for any video game. And that's what we're kind of looking to build as well, with our own kind of suite of developer tooling that would allow video game developers, not just Web3 video game developers, but Web2 video game developers, to pretty much plug and play a lot of code into their video game and just help accelerate and elevate, I guess, the quality of their video games. So things like being able to plug and play a matchmaking system into your video game, being able to have dedicated servers for whatever it is that you need, a friends list for, just the social aspect of video games in general. Let's see here, storage or storage for your video games, and then also giving some Web3 help with like streamlining the integration of NFT assets. I think for right now, what we want to do on Onenet is make sure that it is just running through the one token as of now. Later down the road, that could probably change, but in terms of like NFTs or doing gated access for NFTs, where you need to have an NFT to be able to actually play a video game, that stuff is kind of the things that we're looking to package and offer to these developers. And we're doing all of this through the development of Bushi, which kind of, I don't want to say proof of concept because it is a standalone project by itself, but everything that we do for Bushi, including matchmaking, friends list, and yada yada, what I just said, will be able to be packaged up and delivered to these other video game developers that we're kind of just looking to onboard from the Web2 space onto the Web3 space, though they don't actually need to actually like have Web3 aspects to their video game if they choose not to. And yeah, I just spouted a whole bunch of stuff about Onenet, but that's pretty much the very, very high level overview of Onenet in general.
Amazing. No, it's a very thorough overview, so I hope people are internalizing all of this. And there's a lot to get excited about here. I'll pause momentarily and reiterate the secret badge details because it's very relevant today, given that there's some cool preview photos inside the private metadata. So check it out, claim the secret badge. The link is still pinned to this secret space. So check it out. Follow through the link. You can use the claim code GamingHub, all capital letters, all one word, to go get a sneak peek. And if that sneak peek excites you, like I'm already excited, go and check out the Bushi Mint, which is today for their NFT collection. Be an early supporter. Apparently tons of utility and tons of fun coming. So with that quick pause aside, what else do we need to cover, Leon? There's a million things, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a bunch. So in January, probably January, though we're taking some applications today. But for those who are looking to create video games or have a video game kind of laying around and you want it to be supported or at least put onto the Onenet platform in some way, shape, or form, of course, there is quite a bit of due diligence from our team that we need to do in order to be able to support certain projects. But there is an opportunity for everybody here to kind of reach out and pitch their game idea, pretty much. Game idea or their video game. And with that, we're kind of already planning how we're going to, or which projects will be the first to be listed on the Onenet platform. And of course, Bushi is one of our main focuses, but of course, at the same time, we want to be able to support other video game developers or other games in general. So if you have a video game idea, please feel free to reach out. There is a bunch of stuff that we can talk about in order to actually get it listed on Onenet platform and get you integrated within our own systems. So that's something kind of exciting for us, where we can finally start looking at other video games, listing them, supporting them. Though it will be a semi-slow process. We still have a lot to build. We still have a lot to, I guess, prepare for with the launch of Bushi. But this is something that we want to start, cultivating soon, which is just a list of video games ready to deploy whenever it's right, I guess. And with that as well, if anybody here is interested in game development, if anybody is looking for guidance, how to get into the industry, help with looking at your code or looking at your game design, we actually have a quote-unquote university, and I use the university very, very sparingly, the word university sparingly, but we have already 2 again, quote unquote students that we've been kind of mentoring up until now. You can actually see some of their work in Bushi, as well as some other indie video games that we've been working with. But if you're interested in learning from those who have experience in some AAA studios like Blizzard or the Coalition, then you guys can feel free to reach out to us. We're always looking for people to, I wouldn't say help in the development, but at least get hands-on experience with developing on a video game. So you could either be a 3D modeler, you could be an animator, you could be a VFX artist. We have quite a bit of range and of expertise in these fields. So if you're looking for some guidance, if you're looking for some videos, we have notes, we have courses, classes, whatever it may be. Just let us know. This is kind of like a behind the scenes thing. We don't necessarily advertise this too hard, but our two students, if you want to call them that, are doing rather well. So I think we're ready to take in some others. So feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Well, I see one more note in here around the DAO, but I don't want to jump ahead in anything. I do want to leave. I mean, we've got so much time for people to also ask questions too. But I mean,
Right.
go through everything you need. I just want to make sure we hit all your major highlights.
Right. Okay, and then let me talk a little bit about the mint, because I think
Please. I mean, it's imminent. So
yeah, I think some people are curious about it, and I think it's a good thing to go over. So the mint right now, there is a whitelist that is happening, or that has happened and has been uploaded onto the contract. So it is one per whitelister. So you can actually mint it if you're on the whitelist. It's one per person. It is 125 S secret. But it will go public in 2 days. So in 2 days' time, if the whitelisters have not claimed or minted their reserved NFT, it will go public and anybody can pretty much mint it. If in the case, and obviously this is what I'm hoping is the case, is that there are none left to mint, this won't be the only time, or if you weren't able to get onto the whitelist in general, this won't be the only time that you'll be able to mint an alpha access NFT for Bushi or for Onenet. We will be launching on a second chain, and I kind of want to go over what the decision was with this, because a lot of those who have been following this our development so far know that we went from a 2,500 collection down to a 750 collection. And really that's just because we want to kind of integrate more of other networks into the community. We want to be able to capture those who are really, really into video games in general. Secret Network is a great network for NFTs from my experience. But I do think that for us, we wanted to garner more attention from those who are really into video games in general, because what we're looking for is for those who are going to give solid feedback when playing the video game. So this NFT mint is somewhat of a fundraiser, but that's not necessarily the main purpose of it. I'd probably say that this is really to garner a good amount of users to be able to test for us, right? So it's an alpha. Not everything is going to be perfect. There's going to be gameplay that people might not like or people might want to change. And these are the people that we're trying to have mint this NFT, is those who are going to play, who are going to give us solid feedback, and we can just continue to better the product over time. But I don't want to say which network we'll be launching on next, but this isn't the only time that you'll be able to mint an alpha access NFT. And I think that second chain will probably be marketed or be announced as soon as this first collection is minted out, which again, fingers crossed, will be relatively soon. And then let me go ahead and go over So the DAO, I want to make sure there are things that I can clarify in terms of the DAO. So it is listed that you have DAO access with this NFT. However, Bushi specifically, so this is a Onenet collection, not a Bushi collection, right? It is in collaboration with Bushi. There is somewhat of a separate development team creating Bushi, although we're all one and the same. There is a fine line between who is working on the Web3 aspect, who is working on the video game aspect. And with Bushi, there are things that you're able to vote for in the DAO, right? So things like what is going to be the next skin releasing? What is the theme for the next season? What is the next NFT community that may be integrated into the video game? However, things like changing specific mechanics in the video game, patching specific, I guess, abilities or character models, things like that, that actually alter the video game's design, those may not be something that the video game team will be open to. I don't want to say open to, because we take the feedback of the community very, very seriously, which is one of the reasons why we're trying to garner more video game attention or video game community attention. But things like voting for changing a mechanic is not necessarily something that you would want to propose or change just because it kind of skews the game design overall. There's a lot of things that are intertwined with the game design aspect. There's a lot of thought that goes into the game design overall, including mechanics. I'm totally blanking on what the word is, but I guess you can kind of say data points or specific details of the video game that have been thought out. So things like that may not be open to a proposal, just to make sure everybody knows. However, things on the Onenet platform will be generally able to be voted on and proposed, just because that is the community, I guess, a community-owned project. This is not my project or ownership of myself. So things about the Onenet platform will be very open to discussion.
Cool. Is that a call to action to have people stick their hands up and openly discuss?
I mean, that would be awesome. If anyone here has anything to say or like what they would love to see on a video game distribution platform, I'm open ears.
Well, hopefully we've got some gamers in the audience who are willing and able to give you feedback here. That's one of the best reasons to have secret spaces, is to make sure there can be open community feedback for the great builders in our ecosystem who are trying to scale all this stuff. So if you are a gamer thinking about gaming, thinking about Bushi, definitely stick your hand up. We'll bring you up here on stage, give you the chance to talk. In the meantime, there's one network announcement I wanted to make sure we touched on. So while we let people stick their hands up and get back to Bushi stuff, I will mention that on the secret forum today is a very important post that has a little bit to do with this, some of the stuff that Leon and I are already talking about here. There's this new post from Secret Lab CEO Guy Ziskind talking about some of this vision towards a future of Secret, talking about potentially this very, very aggressive and expansive vision for what Secret Network is becoming with Secret 2.0. And it's completely open to community feedback as well. Please do read through that post on the Secret Forum. If you go through Secret Network's Twitter, you'll see it pretty clearly linked. And please help us spread that around, because this is the time where community feedback is most essential. We definitely need your feedback from the entire community on your thoughts on Secret 2.0, all these perspective directions. It touches on adding cryptography-based solutions to our privacy solutions as they exist today in order to strengthen the network's guarantees. It touches on companion chains for the network. It touches on somehow becoming a liquidity hub for privacy-focused projects. All of that, your feedback is absolutely essential. Your contributions are absolutely essential. Please come to the forum and comment. Please help us share that link around so we can get even more comments from the broader Secret ecosystem, but also the entire Cosmos community, the entire privacy community, and beyond. And as promised at the top of the space, we will be talking about a lot of this at Secret Summit. So just to recap, Secret Summit, December 15th, a fully digital conference featuring the Secret ecosystem. I believe Bushi, Onenet, will yet again be speaking there. So get excited for that. Also, people will be participating in various panels from around the cosmos, from around privacy spaces, from around DeFi spaces, trying to tell the story about how privacy can fit into all of these different solutions and why it's absolutely essential. It is a day you don't want to miss. December 15th, it's a Thursday. If you want to RSVP now and be one of our early RSVPs, early adopters, please go scrt.network/summit. Please RSVP. If you do RSVP, we'll send you reminders as we get closer to Summit. Yes, it's not for another 5 weeks, but we absolutely want to make sure that that date is saved prominently in your calendars. There will be a lot of more information potentially released between now and then anyway, but on the date as well. Plenty of amazing information and amazing builders who are all in one place just for y'all. So please support them like you're supporting them on Secret Spaces by RSVPing the Secret Summit today at scrt.network/summit. Back to Bushi, though. We have about 15 minutes towards the top of the hour. Don't see any hands yet. I think people are just enjoying hearing you talk. Can't say they're enjoying hearing me talk, so I'm trying to pass it back to you. What else should we know about your roadmap, or what are some of the things that you're considering for the longer term as well, especially when you look at how blockchain-based gaming, Web3 gaming is evolving. Very recently, there was a lot of hype early in the year. Things kind of died out. Now it's kind of coming back. Just when you look at how all of this Web3 gaming stuff is evolving, what does it make you think about right now? What do you think is becoming really successful or could be really successful that's inspiring you guys as you're building out your roadmap?
Yeah, so there are quite a bit of, I guess you could say, inspirations for us in the Web3 space. There's a lot more in Web2 space, and that's just because the ecosystem, or I mean population of Web2 gamers is quite a bit more than that of Web3. But specifically speaking, I guess I can cover a little bit of an alpha, and I don't want to solidify anything yet, but I had a really good conversation with the guys over at Passage. And if you guys don't know, they are building Strange Clan. They're doing also, I forgot the name, unfortunately, Pixel Stream, I think, where you can kind of go into different worlds and you can either meet or do different things within these different worlds that are specific to specific ecosystems out here in the cosmos. So I had a really good conversation with the guys over at Passage and Teaser. There may be some kind of collaboration between the Onenet platform and Passage. But either way, we love what they're doing, in specific to the fact that they're kind of getting away from the terms that are not very well liked in the Web2 space. So, for example, the term metaverse. A lot of us in the Web3 communities love the terms metaverse, love the words NFTs, and things like that. But a lot of what we need to do in terms of the Web3 gaming space to onboard the next, 100 million users of video gamers is actually maybe getting away from these specific terms. So you can kind of see something recently that just happened is that Reddit actually integrated some NFTs into their platform. However, they're not called NFTs. They're called digital goods. And with that, a whole bunch of people signed up for these digital goods and collected them, so much to the point where I forgot the statistic, but either way, it was wildly successful. It was huge in comparison to current I guess visualizations of NFTs. And that's really just because of a marketing tactic and where they were able to say digital goods rather than NFTs. So to me, some of the biggest trends right now is to probably get away from utilizing these words like NFTs or metaverses or things that kind of deter the overall Web2 user. And that's just because in order to make it more widely adopted, gamify in general, you probably want to target these Web2 users who are really just looking for something fun, something very user friendly to utilize in terms of video games. So I think what Onenet is probably going to look to strive for in the future is not necessarily get rid of the term NFT or get rid of the term metaverse, but maybe use other terminology that may or may not resonate with someone that doesn't really care about crypto assets. So that's probably something that we're looking forward to doing. I also wanted to mention that something that I think is a trend that should be a trend but isn't a trend yet is to actually have these Web3 video games compete in the traditional market. So what we're doing with Bushi is that, of course, we're marketing heavily in the Cosmos and Web3 in general, making partnerships where we can, including Ethereum, including Polkadot. But what we're also looking to do is attend some conventions, attend some seminars, attend some different events that are focused on Web2 video games. So things like PAX or things like I can't think of any other events in my head, but events that would be relatable to Bushi at least. But we're looking to attend these events and really compete in the traditional market as just a standalone video game, which I think a lot of video games out there could probably benefit from, just because the population for Web3 video games is not necessarily that high to begin with. But if you can integrate both Web2 and Web3 successfully in a video game, I think that's what will probably put you on top in terms of Gamify.
Amazing. So I love that answer. And also, we did get a hand up here. So I brought Aztec up on stage. I'm sure he's got something to ask or share. And I know he's a big Bushi fan.
Good morning, Tor, Patrick, and Leon. Yeah, so I'm peeping the metadata, private metadata, and I see the HUD. It looks beautiful, man. I was wondering if you can give us some alpha on what Q, E, and left shift and what those abilities are. I also see it says slowed at the bottom of the picture, so I'm wondering what that means.
Yeah. So if you guys are able to view the private metadata in the badge, you can see that there are a bunch of different, I guess, moves or abilities in the bottom side of your HUD. It does go from Q, E, shift, so from left to right. Q is a parry ability. So I guess I can talk about how they work together after. But so Q is your parry. E is your main ability in which you actually dash and slash. So it's a dash and slash kind of maneuver where you cover a lot of ground. So think about this as something where you kind of just fly off towards somebody, very anime, very samurai style, in which you like go past your opponent and slash. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or you can picture it in your head. But that's that move. Shift is a dodge, so you have 3 charges of a dodge. And this is just adding more onto the maneuverability of your character. It's very heavy in parkour, so we wanted to make sure that people are able to move as freely as they want, and so we added three dodges that allow you to actually take up a good amount of ground. And they're charged abilities, so they do have a cooldown. Your left click is a regular melee. If you ever get into melee range, you can just swing your sword. And then your right click is a bow and arrow, and that's kind of how you do your range fighting. The slowed ticker there is just in case, it's not even necessarily supposed to be there, but you can be slowed by getting attacked. So I forgot the terminology off the top of my head, but it is kind of like when you get hit, you're just a little bit slower. And then naturally, that is actually not how you're generally supposed to move anyways. The game, like I said, is very, very fast paced. So moving is, you could probably get to the other side of the map within a couple of like dodges. And even your melee attack flings you a little forward. So I guess the skill cap ceiling for this video game in terms of movement is very high, and you can really get to almost anywhere in the map just by utilizing these moves.
That's super exciting. I think it kind of shows you that you'll be able to be like super unpredictable. And I'm wondering, are you guys going to go to E3?
So I think that's probably one of the targets that we're going to try. I think PAX was one that we were looking to do first. It's kind of like a more attainable or more realistic event that we may be able to join. It's super, like I said before, it is super hard to get into the industry, in the Web2 industry for video games and to compete in there. But we are looking 100% to join as many events as we can. And really tackle Web2, because this game, in our opinion, or in my completely biased opinion, is one that can probably stand with things like Fortnite or Valorant, even, which are probably one of the two major inspirations that we had.
Awesome. Thanks for the alpha, brother. That's pretty much all my questions. Can't wait to play.
Thank you. We're looking to, or we can't wait to just get overall feedback from everyone. We have been working like crazy, and I don't know if this is going off on a tangent, but we have been working like crazy to build 2 projects. Thankfully, Bushi is so far in development that we actually don't necessarily need to expand too much more on the team in terms of the game development side, right? But we are expanding quite heavily on the platform side, just so that we can get it ready to support Bushi as well as support other video games as soon as we can.
Okay, we got one other hand also. I'm going to bring that up, but go ahead.
Sure. Another cool thing that I was thinking about, now this is very, very early in development, but something that Steam offers, which is probably their main selling point, is actually dedicated matchmaking servers. And you normally utilize AWS or your own kind of server infrastructure to be able to offer that. We're in very, very early stages of talking with Akash to actually integrate dedicated matchmaking through the Akash system. And I don't want to solidify anything like we're actually going to do it, but we're very, very heavy talks, pretty deep into the conversation actually, now that I think about it. And that may be something that we can offer much sooner than later.
Sweet. Okay. Everybody's up here on stage. We got 5 minutes till the top. Let's get all the questions in that we have while we still got the chance. One last time, I'm also going to drop the claim code, because I do see some more people have been joining us. Thank you again for joining and supporting the Secret Network Builder ecosystem. Your claim code today is Gaming Hub. All one word, all capital letters, Gaming Hub. Thank you again for attending and supporting. So we got 5 minutes about till we wrap up. What questions remain from anybody here on stage?
Hi everyone. Hope you're all okay. Leon, I had a question. I'm sorry I popped in a little late. I saw that there was hints of Anon Army, like NFTs being integrated. Did you mention that?
I've not mentioned that, but I am more than happy to mention it. Do you have a specific question?
Yes. Will we be able to play on the game with the character, like with our NFTs?
Yeah. So there is one model for the Anon character currently being developed as a 3D, but we actually were able to at least give out the concept art, and the concept art is what we normally base off our 3D model off of. So what you see in the concept art is more than likely what you'll probably see, just in a different version in the video game. But for those who are holding an Anon, which is, I believe, both season 1 and season 2 of Anon Army, I would double check with Luigi or Ranger just to double check, but I believe that's what he had mentioned. You are able to select that playable character, the Anon character, in the character selection screen. So it doesn't necessarily mean, so if you have an Anon, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have access to alpha. you will still need an alpha access NFT to be able to launch the video game. But if you have one in your wallet and you have an Anon in your wallet, or in relation, you can also have a Cataclops NFT in your wallet. You'll be able to select that within the character screen. And these characters, just as a disclaimer, all have the same abilities for now. We are looking to integrate other abilities, maybe different weapon types. Right now we have a bow. We're looking into a gun, lasers, cannons, whatever it may be, whatever fits within the game design. I'm not in charge of the game design, just so everybody knows. But yeah, you are able to play your Anon. You are able to play your Cataclops model, and it'll be really cool. I've seen the Anon model and I've seen the Cataclops model, and I think that they are quite a bit better than our original model. But with that being said, that is also being reworked before alpha.
Great. Thank you very much, and thank you for integrating our secret NFT.
Yeah, no, I love the Anons. The chat, if you guys don't have an Anon, you guys should have an Anon. I know that the season ones are quite a bit expensive, but it is a great community. Super fun to talk with them.
Seconding that, just the entire secret community at large. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the secret agents who have been instrumental in supporting so much of what gets done in our ecosystem to this point. So please consider joining one of these many, many awesome secret-based communities, whether it's the agents who support tons of dApps on the network, tons of builders on the network to support university relationships and events, all these things. Please consider becoming a secret agent and supporting secret in your local area. Also, consider, of course, joining the communities for all these awesome projects. You heard from Shade Protocol at the top of the secret space. You're hearing from Bushi now. Consider becoming a core part of their communities. It's extremely rewarding. Consider becoming part of the NFT community, right? Either joining the Anons, picking up your own PFPs. We have multiple PFP projects on the network with more coming. Consider joining the Stash Discord and getting connected with other collectors and other artists if you're interested in creating the future of NFTs, which we firmly believe will have privacy by default, just like we believe Web3 gaming will also leverage the private by default foundation of Secret. These are all things that our whole community believes strongly. It's the ethos that gets us up in the morning. It's that same ethos that connects us with each other. So we end up having an awesome community. It really is great. It's not based around number go up. In fact, it's based around something a lot deeper than that. And a lot of these relationships, friendships, collaborations go back now for over half a decade. So thank you again for everybody who's been a part of this ecosystem dating back to 2017. Thanks to everybody who continues to show up today to support our builders. Whether you joined the ecosystem half a decade ago or last week, or this is the first time you're listening to any secret content, please consider going deeper in our ecosystem, making these friendships. We're not going anywhere. And of course, don't forget Secret Summit, December 15th, RSVP now at scrt.network/summit. We've been thinking about ways that we can be rewarding early RSVPers, maybe something special for the first, I don't know, let's say 500 RSVPs. Let's think about it. We'll go back and think on that, because clearly we want to reward people who are rewarding us with their presence in these kinds of calls. So thank you again for your support. Don't forget the Bushi Mint is today. Shade airdrop live now. And we'll see you next week. We do these every week. So Secret Spaces next week will be at the same time, noon US Eastern. We'll have new guests, new secrets to share. Until then, thank you again to our guests. Thank you again for the questions from the audience. Appreciate everybody who was here. And we'll see you on next week's Secret Spaces. Be well, everyone. And Secret 2.0 live on the forum now, forum.scrt.network. Go check out what Guy has to say about Secret 2.0. Go see what the community has to say about Secret 2.0 and add your voice to the conversation. Thanks, everyone.